Welcome to Chaos and Mesa. Before we get started, just a quick reminder. Everything shared comes from our personal experiences, opinions, and memories. Some stories may be emotional, messy, or sort of little humor. That's what happens when you crack open the tequila. This podcast may include sensitive topics, strong language, and family chaos. The views expressed are our own and does not represent anyone mentioned in our stories. So grab your cafecito, take a seat at the table, and remember, some things get a little chaotic when you bring it all to the table.
We're here again to talk a little bit about something that I feel like I've forever struggled with my whole life.
Same.
I think, Crystal, you could agree. Growing up in a Latino household, a Latino family, weight and food are always a constant struggle, right? Because if you look at the Latino recipes that we have, we fry everything. We use seasonings for everything. We don't like plain, right?
No.
We're
I like a little spice in the life.
Yeah. And it's rough, right? Because growing up, you're told, finish your plate, right? But then you're also told you're getting too fat. So
Right.
how, and then also something that I learned later on in life was that food is love, right? We feed the people we love. Like grandma always fed everybody who came to our house, whether it was her cooking or it was her sending us to get something because people were there.
Right, because they were
There
coming
was
over.
always food, right? Oh, Tio's coming, whenever Tio Valentin comes and brings a box of donuts, right?
Yeah.
That's how we show our love, right?
Right.
And so for me, it's always been a struggle. And I never had the discipline to be to unlearn the habits that were taught to us, right? Because I don't feel like I was taught healthy habits. Do you?
No, because at home it was, you finish what I make you. And
Right.
I ate whatever my mom cooked for dad, so it was
Right.
never a choice.
And I feel like we cater to our kids more now because it was well, if you don't like that, then you're just not going to eat, right? And I don't want to do that either. I'd rather her eat something than not eat anything, right?
Right.
So I feel like as a younger person, I would tell myself to educate yourself, right? If I were looking back at my younger self, I would say educate yourself, because just because they're doing it doesn't make it the way to do it, right?
Right.
This isn't your end all be all. This isn't your, you know what I mean? This isn't God, right?
Right.
The way that they're doing things isn't God. And you are okay to do things a different way. And it is okay to say no to food. And it is okay to choose something different, right? And I feel like in our culture and in our family, when we decide to do something different, everybody looks at you funny, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not eating cake? Oh, what do you mean you're fasting? What do you mean you're not eating after 7 o'clock or whatever? You know what I mean? I feel like it's definitely frowned upon, right? Which is weird to say because I feel like now society is more open to it, and then it's discussed a lot more, right? I mean, for example, Ava just told me the other day, Mom, I want to lose weight. And I said, why? I don't know, just because I want to. And I said, okay, if it's for you, I'm with it, right?
Right.
I'll support you. I'll help you. But don't do it for anybody else. Do it for you, right?
Right.
And so she was like, no, it's for me. It's not about anybody else. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But we have to eat better.
Yeah.
We work out a ton, right? But we eat like shit.
Yeah.
So I can openly and honestly say we eat like shit, right? And I'll say for me, I'm a big stress eater, right? So I'm a big, big stress eater. So when grandpa was sick and when my tata was sick, I think those were the heaviest times in my life, right?
Yeah.
I blew up. And
we all did at that time.
Right. Because it's stress, right? It's you just eating whatever, whenever, and it's comforting you, right?
Right.
So I think after grandpa and my tata passed away, I got married, right? And so that's another stressor, right? And my husband was a piece of shit. He wasn't a piece of shit before we were married. But I should preface that with he was an addict, right? He was a former addict, and then he had been clean, and then he became an addict again. And in the midst of me dealing with my tata dying from cancer, grandpa dying from cirrhosis, and just being there all the time, like,
Mhm.
I feel like I missed all of the signs of him relapsing, right?
Right.
He wasn't my focus. So
Mhm.
I was, doing other things. So it gave him the freedom to be like, oh, well, I guess I don't have to be sober, right?
Yeah.
So I then was engaged to an addict. We started fighting and I chalked it up to wedding jitters and
Mhm.
just wedding stress. We got married, but also like, I think I always knew that I never really loved him.
Mhm.
That's a whole episode in and of itself.
But, the funny thing is, even during that time, I don't think we realized, like, how much we were consuming just because we're stressed out, and as
Mm-hmm.
women, right, like,
Mm-hmm.
we're supposed to shoulder all that, so I think
Right.
we didn't even realize it because I think between all of us, I mean, there was what, 8 of us at the time? Just back
Probably.
and
Yeah.
forth, like
And we were just rotations.
right, so and it was never,
And I was
"Let me."
rotations in 2 households.
Right, and
Yeah.
so it's not like it was, "Let me make this really good home cooked meal," it's, "Let me go grab something," you know? I was a
And
new
there were
mom at the
constantly
time.
visitors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a new mom and, and then living in the East Bay, like, I was commuting for work, for that, for it was a stressful time. And then people were coming to visit to, make sure that they were able to say that they said goodbye to grandma and grandpa, or to grandpa at the time,
Uh-huh.
and it was just a constant rotation of people bringing sweets and desserts and foods.
Food,
And oh my God, it's like, we need to normalize making healthy
healthy
foods
food
the right
option.
choice to send that because
Okay.
people gain
Send
50
me a fruit
pounds.
basket.
Thank you. Some trail mix, please.
Send me some nuts.
Yeah, yeah, but I get it. People want comfort food. Like, you don't
I know.
when
Yeah.
you're sad, you don't wanna think, "I'm gonna eat that orange and I'm gonna devour it." No, I'm gonna eat that piece of cake and I'm gonna feel better, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And
I
I
mean, I
also want
get
to
it.
clarify too, though, like, no knock to anybody who brought us anything. We were very
Right,
appreciative.
we're
This is
grateful.
simply, yeah, this is simply to discuss like the way things happened and how we
Mhm.
ended up where we were, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I get it, right?
Mhm.
Devouring an apple doesn't sound as good as devouring a cheesecake,
Right,
like,
right. And I mean, 1 apple is not gonna feed 8 of us, I mean,
right.
so I get it. But, I mean, it starts in early childhood too, though, like, I
Mm-hmm.
remember from as old as I can remember, you need to finish everything, like, and then, they told you when you were full. Heaven forbid you say, "No, I don't want food." Like, to this day, and it's funny because after grandma had passed, my mom would tell me that she would be upset with me when I would leave, right? Like, when I would go
Mm-hmm.
home for the night, whatever. And it's because I never let her take care of me. Like, I never let her cook for me and do things for me like that. Like, she never was able to feed me. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, but she did. Like, growing up, she did. For the longest time, I hate eating breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. I hate
Mm-hmm.
it. I hate it. I hate it. I would get dropped off at school from mom. My parents would drop us off at grandma and grandpa's house, and grandpa would take us to school, right? And I remember just every morning, grandma would have this full breakfast spread: coffee, milk, juice, toast, eggs, atole, like everything under the sun, every
Mm-hmm.
single breakfast, and it was just like, I'm not hungry. And she made me eat. No, you need to eat. You need to eat. You're going to school. You need to eat. It's like, no, I don't want to eat. Like, I just ate last night. Like, I don't need to eat. But no, like, she thought she was sending us off to war. Like, here I am, like,
You're like,
four
I'm coming
foot two.
home.
It's like
Yeah.
I'll be fine for a
Yeah.
few hours, but no, like, and it kind of kept going. Once I had my
Mhm.
own kids, she did the same thing. Like, she wanted to feed them all the time. I
Well, do
haven't
you
for
remember when grandma used to tell me I didn't feed Ava enough?
girl, it
I
started at
was like,
infancy, okay? Because I would bring my baby over and giving him 2 ounces of milk at a time
wasn't
was
enough.
too little.
Yeah.
You need to feed him until he's not full. And it's like, he doesn't even finish the 2 ounces. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
2 ounces isn't enough for her. Give him more. He needs more. Could you
I'm like,
imagine?
no, dude,
Could you
no.
imagine?
So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I feel like maybe that was something that was ingrained to her, right? But I also feel like my dad is the same way
Mhm.
because that's how my dad shows he loves you, right? He takes you out
Mhm.
to eat, right?
Yeah.
Like he wants to take you out. Oh, well, let's just go grab something real quick.
Right.
And I had to tell him, like, hey, like, she said she wants to lose weight. Like,
Mhm.
we need to help her with that. We need
Right.
to make better choices. It's not about McDonald's or Jack in the Box. It's about let's go home and make something. Let's make
Right.
sure she's eating a protein and a
Mhm.
carb instead of just a carb, right?
Right.
Like, let's throw some chicken in that pasta. And if she doesn't want to mix it, that's okay. Let's cut it up and put it on the side, right? Like,
Right.
let's get her to eat more fruits and vegetables. Like, even if she doesn't want to eat the vegetables, let's get her to eat fruit, right? Like,
Right.
let's take those steps to help train her. Because I feel like if I had been handed those tools earlier in life, I wouldn't have gone to the extreme to get the bypass done, right?
Right. Right.
And I feel like it was a decision that I made very secretly and very
Mhm.
privately because I
Yeah.
didn't want to hear what anybody else had to say. I already knew I was going to have opposition. Do you remember I didn't even tell grandma?
Yeah.
I didn't tell grandma because I didn't want to hear anything from anybody. I didn't
Mhm.
tell my parents until like a couple of days before I was having surgery
Mhm.
because I knew I was going to be met with opposition, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, this is something after I had been married and I got divorced and I continued
Mhm.
to gain weight and I had gotten this divorce and I was like, no, I'm going to start a new life. I'm going to do
Mhm.
this. I went through all my appointments by myself. I did
Mhm.
all the struggles by myself. I lost
Mhm.
all the weight by myself because I didn't want to tell anybody what I was planning and what I was doing because I didn't want to
Mhm.
hear it.
Right.
Because in our culture, it's everybody has an opinion and I really just didn't want to hear it. So
Yeah.
I think that started the me just not giving a fuck anymore, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm doing me for me
Mhm.
because this is what I need to do, right? And
Mhm.
I wasn't sick. I was borderline diabetic,
Mhm.
but I didn't have cholesterol. I didn't have nothing. I think I had a fatty liver and I didn't want to be on medication, right? Like
Mhm.
I didn't want them to put me on medication to do all these things.
Mhm.
And so I finally, it was just like a switch flipped. And I was
Mhm.
like, this is what I'm going to do, right? So I did everything. I had the bypass, right? Which wasn't as bad as everybody made it seem, but also I had it laparoscopic. So they didn't cut me open and do all the things, right?
Mhm.
Like it was laparoscopic. They rearranged, I tell everybody, they rearranged my guts.
Which they did. They
Yeah,
did.
they
Mhm.
rearranged my guts and cut my stomach out, right?
Mhm.
And then I remember I came out of surgery and I told my dad he could go get my grandma. And
Mhm.
so he went to get grandma. My mom stayed with me.
Mhm.
And I had told, because my mom and dad were like, well, you should tell your family because, like, it is
Mhm.
surgery, right? Like, you're
Mhm.
going under. And then I think I told everybody like a few days before. And I was like, I'm
Mhm.
not telling you because I want your opinion. I'm telling you because this
Right.
is what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm having surgery and support me or not, like this is what I'm doing. And I don't
Mhm.
really need to hear any, negativity
Right.
because I'm going under the knife.
Mhm.
So, but realistically, I think everybody was just like, I mean, okay, right? Because I
Mhm.
think that was the first time that I didn't tell anybody anything, right?
Mhm.
Like, and so I think they were number one shocked that I had made a decision and didn't look to anybody for any kind of advice. But
Mhm.
number two, that like I was really serious and I was going to get through this, right?
Yeah.
So I remember waking up and my dad bringing grandma and grandma being like, why did you do this? And
Mhm.
I was like, grandma, I'm in pain. Don't yell at me. Like, I remember being in the bed and her being like, ah, hija, why did you do this?
Yeah. No, I mean, when you told me, like, I had been contemplating myself, right? And I'm a big chicken, right? I'm
Mm,
still on the fence about doing it. I've lost, I mean, over the last year and a half, I've done it naturally I've lost about 115
Mhm.
pounds, so that's a whole ass person,
Right.
and I still have a long way to go, but I'm still on this journey and, my kids are seeing it and, they're just like,
Mhm.
"Okay, well, like, mom's doing it, like, let's help her." So, like, they're picking up little things like that, they help me with the
Right.
grocery shopping, they help me with this, and, the one thing I do have in the house, like, I don't make them finish their food, I don't make them, eat things that are not good for them, but I also keep snacks like that in the house.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I do that, but thing me and their dad has always pushed on them is you have to at least try it once. One
Right.
bite, and if you say you don't like it, then you don't like it. You can say that I tried it and I truly don't
Right.
like it.
Right.
So that has been the only thing. And my parents hated it. Grandma hated it.
Yeah.
Grandpa hated it. He hated that I would force them to try things that they didn't like. And it's just like, how do you know that you don't like it?
Right. They don't know they don't like it.
How do you know? So they're picking up better habits. They don't drink a lot of sodas unless they're
Mhm.
around. If they're around, soda's gone in a day, right? 24 pack won't last the house 24 days.
Mhm.
There's no way. They're just gonna drink them. So they drink a lot of water. They drink a lot of juice, milk. Unfortunately, my child is lactose, so he has to drink almond milk. But he'll
Yeah.
just sit there and he'll drink that, a cup of milk, and it's just like, "Dude, don't do that, like, you don't need that much milk in a day." Like, come on. But we're all doing the
The
gym and
opposite. That's the opposite of what they told us when we were growing up, right?
right? Mhm.
You need milk. Your bones need to be healthy. They need to be
Right.
strong. You're not gonna grow. You
Right.
know, like, I fucking love those memes that are like, "Oh, remember when you were telling us like you're gonna eat all your food because you're gonna grow big and strong? Now look at us,
Right.
just big."
Just big, yeah.
Like
And it's
that's
true, and
facts right there.
yeah, and it's just like I don't wanna do that to them, like, I don't want them to have this stigma, like, my son's 6'3", like,
Mhm.
6'3.5", something like that, and I mean, he's a stocky boy, like, football wanted him, but we were said, "No," like, "No." Harley, she's not small, like, she's growing, like, she's
Yeah.
not even 12 yet, and she's 5'3"
Yeah.
and stocky, like, they're a stocky build, like, they're gonna be big kids.
Yeah.
And I just don't want them to have to struggle with what I struggle with now at 41. I don't
Right.
want them to have to
Right.
deal with that.
So
So
yeah, no, I get it, right? So I think one of my questions would be, how do you approach that with your kids? Because I know for me, it's like a
mhm,
fine line
mhm,
between being helpful and being
mhm,
judgmental, right?
yeah,
Because I don't ever want anybody to tell me anything. Like I went through all my struggles and I did all my things and I lost all this weight and then I got
mhm,
pregnant. And
mhm,
and so it's like, okay, right? So now I feel like I have to work twice as hard, right? So I
mhm,
think like for me, it's easy to get the motion out of her, right? Like to
mhm,
get the movement out of her because as long as she's been alive, I've worked out.
mhm,
I may not have worked out as much as I do now, but I've
mhm,
always worked out from when she was little, right?
mhm,
So that's normal to her, right? Me going
mhm,
to the gym, normal to her. Me, lifting weights, normal to her. Jumping
mhm,
in on the mat at karate, normal to her
mhm,
because I did it when I was younger, right? And I
mhm,
made her do it when she was young. So like the movement part is normal for her. The diet is where I have a hard time because
yeah,
I like sweets, right?
mhm,
Like I'm a big sweets person. And how am I going to eat it and then tell you not to eat it? You know what I
right,
mean? Like how do
right,
I do that? And then for me, I think diet has always been the struggle, right? Because
mhm,
food is good and I like to eat and I'm going to
mhm,
eat good, right?
mhm.
Like, and like but like how do you approach it with your kids?
I mean, here, like, I tell them, like, I use me as the example, right? I never put my kids down. I never
Mhm.
tell them. And, Harley said the same thing not too long ago. Mom, I want to lose a little bit of weight. I feel like I'm gaining too much. And yeah, she's puberty, right? Like,
Mhm.
so one of the things is, babe, like, you're breaking out. Like, let's, we have to eat a little healthier so we don't have so
Right.
much. break out. And, so I kind of use that approach versus you're getting chunky, like we're going on a
Yeah.
diet. It's not a diet. It's let's make healthier choices,
Right.
you know, as I tell them, I want to live forever. If I can live forever without you having to wipe my butt, I want to
Right.
do it. And me eating the way that we have been is not going to let me live forever, you
Right.
know? So, and that's how I've approached it so far. And it seems to be working. And, I push them to like get them moving, right? Because they
Mhm.
like to be seated. They'd rather be on their
Mhm.
phone and, on the TV and, just doing that. So I started going to the gym by myself. Like I was going and, I would go with Angela and we would go and it was an off and on thing for a while.
Yeah.
But then, I started working nights. So I had all day, so
Right.
then I was going to the gym in the morning with Angela and then we were going at night. So it was 2 times a day. So I was getting this routine and they're just like, well, we never see you. And it's like, well, you can come with me to the gym,
Right.
and so that's what they started doing. So, little David started coming and, we were doing the gym and we would go. And I was part of 2 gym memberships, right? I had two. I had 24-hour and I had Planet Fitness. And so we
Mm.
were just going back and forth between whatever gym was open at the time.
Right.
And, I was just doing the thing, and so now they're seeing the the journey, like I said,
Mhm.
115 pounds, like that was no easy feat,
Right. Right. It's
Um,
work.
yeah, so it's like at 115 pounds, I'm doing this, I'm eating better. I'm not eating like I was before. And they're seeing that my palate has changed and they're just like, well, what do you want to eat? And it's like, well, I can't eat because it gives me da asco, todo me da asco. Like I think about
Mhm.
eating and it's just like, I don't want to eat that no more. Right. So they're just like, oh, well, mom has to eat. Like she's gonna get hungry, she's gonna get mad, and then it's like an
We
all-out
need to
war.
feed her.
So they don't want me to get hangry, but they also know that I'm struggling with food, right? So me and food just don't have the best relationship, and they're just like,
Right.
"Okay, well, let's mom likes this, like, she can get Chipotle, or she can, get a salad at this place, or she can get, some really good chicken at this place, or they
Yeah.
have really good beef that like so they take what I like into consideration and they've kind of changed their diet
Mm.
to suit that, which
That's
I
good.
appreciate, and
Right.
it's like so they're picking it up. Oh, well, and they're counting calories and
Yeah.
not so much the little one, but the older one.
Yeah.
And he started I'm not a big sweets person, right? I've never been one for the sweets. My
Mhm.
A1C pristine, right? Like I have to trick my A1C so I could have gotten on the Ozempic. And
Yeah.
by tricking it, it got the highest at a 5.4,
Yeah.
right? That was over 3 months. So I've never been a big sweets person. But more recently, I've been wanting salties, like salt.
Okay.
I want pickles. Pickles is pickled radish, pickles. I did pickled ginger and I hate ginger, right? And I'm even over here like, okay, well, I'm having stomach
You're
problems,
like,
like
what
my
is wrong
stomach's
with
been
me?
bothering. I gotta figure out how to like kimchi because
Oh.
it's good for gut health, right? So I'm just like, let's get rid of some of this bloat. Like,
Yeah.
let's start changing those. So I'm making these little changes and they're like all for it with me. Like, they're like, okay, well, let's try this. And little David's like, Mom, I know you don't like sweets, but I made this, can you try it? And it's like, protein packed sweets for me. Like he made me protein brownies and he's making me
Oh, that's
protein
good.
cheesecakes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So he's all in it for me. She's seeing it. So it's like, yeah, let's do it, So
Yeah.
that's how I'm using myself as the guinea pig. They're just kind of picking up after it,
Right.
But the veggies, good luck because
I
they don't
know.
do it.
I don't
They
like
won't do it.
veggies. So how do I force her to eat veggies, right? Like, and that's always my big thing. Like, if I don't like it, how am I supposed to force you to eat it? Like,
Hide it.
I'm
Hide it.
like, but I don't
Instead
like,
of I know, okay, but pasta, okay? This is one of the big changes, and I
oh no,
didn't tell them.
I tasted it's nasty.
What?
The like wheat pasta or the chickpea pasta, I think it's disgusting.
Really? You can taste it?
Yes. But you know
Girl, the
why?
kids can't
Because
even because you have to
we
cook
don't
it.
eat sauce. No, we don't eat sauce.
Well, why don't you eat sauce?
So Ava doesn't like sauce, and neither do I actually, really.
Oh my goodness.
We'll do butter and seasonings and cheese, and that's it.
Put
So
more
that's why
cheese.
we can't mask the taste, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can put more cheese, more butter, more garlic.
No, disgusting. I will eat barilla. I think it's barilla protein pasta. I'll eat that. But the chickpea pasta, the lentil
No, I won't eat
pasta, I'm like, nope.
Have you tried doing the spaghetti squash?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No. Well, you're just gonna have to drink smoothies and hide it that way with all the berries and banana.
Which would be great, but she doesn't like smoothies.
Okay, la.
The only fruit she likes is like strawberries.
Oh, you could do that.
This is like my struggle, but she won't drink it. She'll just eat fresh strawberries.
Oh, yeah.
So today I was like finally at my wit's end, and I was like, no, because she just wanted to eat white rice. And I was like, no. This morning she was like, oh, can you make me pancakes? And I was like, yeah, I'll make you pancakes. I was like, but what do you want like with that? And she was like, I just want pizzas. Sorry. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll make you frozen pizzas. But I wasn't going to give her all carbs for breakfast and then all carbs for lunch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, no, you need to eat a protein. So you're either going to eat chicken. I took her to Panda Express because we were getting Wingstop. So I was like, you can taste anything, right? They'll let you taste it. So taste whatever you want and get something. And she's like, I don't want this. I just want white rice. And I said, no, absolutely not. Yeah. So you either get a kid's meal and you can have white rice with it, but you need to eat a protein or a veggie. Like, I don't care what it is. You need to eat something.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I guess I'll get teriyaki chicken. Because, you know, they put the teriyaki sauce separate from the...
Yeah.
And I said, that's fine. Just eat the chicken. You don't have to eat the sauce, right? It's better for you if you don't eat the sauce.
Yeah.
So then she was kind of like... But it was dark meat. She doesn't like dark meat. We make chicken breasts here, right? So when I cook, I make chicken breasts, right? But it's just like such a struggle, right? And I feel like, God, like she's going to have the same struggles that I have, right? Like she's 9 and she's bottom heavy, right? She has big hips, a big butt, and big thighs. And that's all me, right? And so I'm like, she's in great shape. She is training for her 5K, and we asked her teacher, because her and her bestie, right? We asked her teacher, like, oh, like, how are the girls doing, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, Ava and Fatima have no problems. Like, we tell them to do it, and they do it. She goes, the rest of the girls all get tired. And I said, it's because they train 3 days a week, right? They're used to all the cardio. Kaju, we do forms, we do running, we do kicking set. You know what I mean? Like, so they're used to it. They're not, that's a piece of cake for them. Like, so like, she's in great shape. If I could just get her to eat better, like, and it's like, I have to get mad at her and force her to try things for her to actually try other things, right? Like, and I'm like, God damn it, just eat something. And so if she likes it, like Costco has prepackaged cold chicken, right? Just the little boxes. I don't even know who makes them, but there's like 8 or 10 in the package. And so I'm like,
on the skewers?
if you like, no, they're not even on the skewers. They're just box. So I'm like, if you like that, I'll buy it for you. I don't care. Eat it, right? But then she gets tired of it, right? So I'm like, which I get too, but like, I need you to do something, kid. So then it's like, I have to get mad and be like, you have to eat something else. And I hate to be like that because I'm like, I've created this mess, right? Like allowing the mac and cheese and allowing the pastas and allowing and allowing and allowing. And now we're at a point where I'm like, okay, well, this is what you want. So I'm going to have to give you a little bit of tough love and take things away from you, right? Like, I don't care that you eat sweets. That's fine. But you're not going to eat 18 sweets, right? You're going to eat 2 sweets. Like, you're going to, you know what I mean? Like, you want ice cream, you're going to have a scoop of ice cream. You're not just going to eat out of the tub. You know what I mean? Not consciously realizing how much you're eating.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like in our culture, it's not something that's discussed. And I really feel like we really need to do a better job about educating the next generation, because they're going to continue to have the same struggles that we have.
Right.
If we're not teaching them any different, right? Like, I don't want her to feel like she has to do the things that I did to get where I'm at, right?
Right.
So I'm like, no, like, you can do it by yourself, right? Like, I took that step because I didn't have an option and I didn't have the support. You know what I mean? Like, nobody else was at the point where they were wanting to go on a weight loss journey, where they were wanting to be like accountability buddies, where they were, you know what I mean? And so it was like, well, then I have to make decisions for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to die at 30. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't want to die at 30 because I was fucking drinking fat. You know, I think back at the times where I was drinking big ass frappuccinos, caramel frappuccinos, the ventis with extra caramel, multiple per day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much sugar was I consuming? Right? Like,
I don't even want to think back to it.
wait, Alexa, how many grams of sugar is in a venti caramel frappuccino?
A venti caramel frappuccino typically has around 70 grams of sugar, but
Did
exact
you hear that?
amounts can vary.
70 grams.
Check the nutrition info on the
And
package.
that's
that's
like a
not
regular one.
right. I
That's
was
not
gonna
the
say
extra
that's not
caramel.
the extra caramel. Yeah.
Yes. 70 grams of sugar. Like,
Yeah.
and I was drinking multiple, right? Like, and then it's not just, that's just a drink.
Yeah.
That's not the food that I was consuming.
Yeah.
That's not the, you know, and you have women and girls who are out here who are like, oh, I want to do it. I want to lose weight to catch a man. Bitch, I never had a problem catching a man being bigger. Like, I feel like as I lost weight, I became more self-conscious. And I was like, that's why I love those memes that they're like, being big has never stopped me from being folded like a pretzel because fucking period. Like, never.
And see, for me, it's not even like it wasn't until I don't know, Harley was, I don't know, maybe like 4, 5 maybe. And her dad said something about a picture that we had taken. And I was just like, and looking back, I see it like, holy shit. Like, yet here I am, like with food in my hand, you know? So it's just like,
Right.
what am I going to do? Like, I have, you know, so I had to make that mentality change. Like it's
Right.
it's a mental freaking game, man. And I
You
hate it.
have to flip that switch yourself.
Right. You know, and it's like, and so I would start and then I would stop and then I would start and then I would stop because I was never uncomfortable in my body, no matter how big it was. Right. I was never uncomfortable with it. I didn't give two shits about what people said. I had friends of mine, like good friends of mine. To this day, I can still tell you what he was wearing, what he was doing, what period we were in when he said something to me, and I did not care until I realized I cared. Right. And it was just like, man, you're an asshole for telling me that. And it should have clicked then, right? That something was wrong. And it didn't because I was never uncomfortable because I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit what anybody thought, you know. But once her dad said that, I was just like, wow, you're right. You know, and I was just like, oh my God. And, you know, I was just like, that kind of hurt my feelings. And I was mad at him for like days, dude, like days. And I didn't talk to him. And I was just like, you motherfucker. And he didn't know why I was mad. You know, and then so I would start and I would stop and I would start and I would stop. I would start making these good decisions. And then, you know, I stopped drinking the sodas. I started
They're
drinking more
hard.
water. And it's just that sugar addiction, like, or whatever, like whatever addiction, like, I swear to you, it's the MSG in it, like everything you
Coke's
eat.
got Coke. That's what I say. Coke's got Coke.
Yes, you know, and it's just like I couldn't break the habit. And now it's a little easier. Like I said, the problem I'm having right now with my biggest thing is I don't want food. Right?
Do
Like
you
I just
feel
want
like that's a subconscious thing? Because you're like, I don't want food because I don't want to gain weight and I don't want to go through all these things? Or do you feel like it's really just your body is just like, I'm done. I don't need any nutrients right now?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think because I did start the Ozempic and whatever, and I was on that for a while till I got really sick, and then it was the phentermine, and with the combination of the two things, like it completely changed the way I thought about food.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like I was sitting there one day and I was eating a piece of chicken. I freaking love chicken, right? It could just be plain chicken breast grilled with no barbecue sauce, a little bit of salt, and I love it, right? I couldn't eat it. It gave me the ick, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I know I need to eat it. I
Mm-hmm.
need to eat it. It's good for me, right? I couldn't do it. And I think it's my brain telling me, yeah, you're full. You don't have to eat the whole thing, right? You don't want to gain the weight. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to gain the weight. You want this instead, right? So I think it's a mind fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate it. I hate it.
Do you feel like the company that you keep also adds to your weight loss or gain?
Yes, yes, 100%, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were here with me for a bit, and they don't my mom doesn't like to cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they were eating out a lot more. And like donuts were in the house and sweets were in here. And it's just like, can we have like food? Like food?
Right.
Like, can you cook? If you can't, I'll cook. But stop feeding the kids that. Like stop doing
Right.
that.
They don't need
And
that
I
junk.
did and I did gain, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 10 pounds in the 5 months that she was here. And I was just like, damn. Like,
Yeah. And it adds up quick, right?
real
Like,
quick, real quick. And I'm just like, what did I do different? Right? I got lazy. I stopped meal prepping. I stopped
mm-hmm.
weighing out the food. I stopped, making the healthier choice. Instead of making the protein shake, I went and I had the donut, right? Like instead of, the glass of water, I went and I had a soda. The house always had soda. Like I had,
Yeah. Because that's all your parents drink.
right. And so I think just knowing that my mom has this, my mom's even worse. Like she doesn't eat. Like she thinks she doesn't need to eat, but she eats like shit, right? She doesn't want to cook. She'd rather have a hamburger. She would rather have, the mac salad from L&L with all the mayonnaise and, like she can
Which
eat a
has
plate
more
full of it.
calories than anything, right?
Right.
Like, you're
She
not
wants
doing yourself any favors.
Yeah. I mean, granted, my mom has never been super heavy, right?
Mm-mm.
But she got heavy, and then, she does what she does, and she ended up with fatty liver. Like, that's a genetic thing. Like,
Right?
you
That's
know,
hereditary.
it's
That's,
hereditary for us.
runs in our family. Yeah.
So
We got
it's
to be
like,
careful.
so luckily I don't have it, right? Like, I don't have
Mm-mm.
that. My kids, however, they do. So I would get upset, and it was just like, I'm trying to make these better changes for them, and you're coming in behind me and changing it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's that whole, I'm the mom, I'm the grandma, I know better, like it's not a problem once in a while, but it's not once in a while. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right. Because you're
And
living here now.
because you're living
When
here
you're
now.
at your house, it's different.
Right. And so it was bad. Granted, the kids now see that they prefer home cooked meals versus outside
Right.
meals because they taste better, they're fresher,
Mm-hmm.
they're leaner, they're tastier.
You control what
And
goes in it, right?
right. And so they're just like they alter things, and Harley's getting more into trying to cook for herself. And so we're
I
using that
love
tool.
that David loves to cook and that he
Yes.
likes to try different things. I love that for you
Yeah.
guys. I love that for him because
Yeah.
that's going to be so much better for him as an adult because he's going to be
Right.
like, I can make that better and
Right.
healthier, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
And then so I mean, he tries all these things, and I mean, 90% of the time they come out fantastic. And
Yeah.
Harley, she's gonna have that spark too, because she made Ava the other day when you guys were over here. She made her these potato balls.
Oh, that's right.
She found the recipe on TikTok, but the TikTok thing called for something that she didn't know what it was, and I didn't have it or whatever. And she went and she seasons until the ancestors screamed at her, and
I
she was
love
just like,
it.
and they
I love
came out
it.
fantastic. And I'm just like, babe,
Because that's how
that's
Mexicans cook.
right. And I'm like, and that's exactly what you should be doing. Like, maybe not so
Yeah.
much salt, let's cut back on the
Period.
salt. But, so I see those things that they're doing, and I see that they're
Yeah.
trying to change the way that they're eating. And it's great. And I love that. And I will always 100% back them in
Encourage
that,
it. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
and
I think that's
so
great. Because I feel like if we had had that growing up, if we had
yes.
more autonomy on our choices,
Right.
like we would have been in a different ballgame. We would have had a different
Right.
world. We would have
Right.
been, maybe I would have been skinny. Who knows? I probably wouldn't have been skinny. Let's be honest. I like to eat.
But we
But
wouldn't
like
have
at
gotten
least,
to where we did.
right. And I also feel like, so like going back to asking you about the company that you keep, right?
Mhm,
Like I feel like when I was in my really, really big days,
mhm,
like I was 70, 80 pounds heavier than I am now. But
mhm.
I also kept company where we always partied, we always ate out, we
Yeah.
always drank, you know what I mean? That was the lifestyle that I was leading, right?
Right.
Now, like my friends know me going out is like a rare sighting. So
Mhm,
like when I go out, like if somebody talks to me, I'm like, listen, dude, this
mhm.
is rare form. Like number one, I don't get dressed up every day, right? Number two, like I don't come out all the time. I'm a mama first, right? Like I will always be a mama first. So like when I go out, it's different, right? Like I'm usually DD now. So like I stopped drinking, right? So I haven't drank since January. Like I had a glass of wine last night with dinner. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? It's not like I used to. I'm not drinking anymore. I work out 3 to 5 days a week at this point, right? So it's like, it just depends, but it's also the company that I keep, right? Because I feel like now I have real friends who don't need me to go party with them, who don't need me to go do the things with them, right? Who will actually call me out on my bullshit and be like, did you work out today? And I'll be like, no. Or they'll be like, are you working out tonight? Like, are you going to train tonight? And I'll be like, yeah. Or if I'm like, no, I know specifically one of my friends will be like, why? And I'll be like, because I'm tired. So you're still going to be tired if you work out. You might as well just go work out and still be tired and go home and sleep. And I'm like, you right. You right. I'm going to go. I'm going to work out. Those are, you know what I mean? Those are the friends you need, right? Those are the friends you need. And those are like, I think after COVID, I started to blow up a little bit again. And I saw a picture of myself and I was like, y'all are fake ass friends for not telling me that I was blowing up again. You know what I mean? Like to be like, you guys saw me and didn't say anything? Like, what's up? And then, but I also think like it's a sensitive subject, right? But like, if y'all see me blowing up, like y'all motherfuckers better say something, because if I end up back where I was because I'm fucking around and not working out and you guys are watching me just fucking pound beers and eat shit and you know what I mean? Like y'all ain't real friends, like I can't hear you anymore.
There.
There you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, so I mean, and that's I 100% like Angela has been like she a G, right? Like she MVP of this, journey with me. She's pushing me and she's like, let's go. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was, I mean, back in November, I think I slipped a good from like November to like end of December where I was having like the really bad bouts of depression and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
where I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't going to the gym. All I was doing was working and sitting there, just
Mm-hmm.
doom scrolling, and it was a low part in my, in this journey. And it's just like, I can't go slipping back into that. And I do feel it. Like, I mean, just yesterday I was telling Harley, like, I feel myself on that brink of like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't
It's
want to
so
eat.
much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And it's to the point where like I have to buy new gym clothes because the gym clothes that I have are too big.
Mhm.
It's a great feeling, but now I have
Right.
to spend money,
Right.
and I don't wanna do that.
Mhm.
I have to buy new pants because 'cause they're all too big. Great feeling.
I'm sorry, my butt's too big. You can't have mine.
And that's the thing, like, okay, and that's my next problem, like, I am very oddly shaped, so now I'm
Right.
noticing, like, it's like, "Fuck, I shoulda just stayed fat," because
Right.
now I have to spend more money, more effort,
Right.
and now I'm uncomfortable in myself. I don't feel comfortable in the body that I'm in,
Right.
and I don't think I've ever felt that way when I was fat, so it's just like I'm way proportionate, like, I've always had the boobs in the family, like, between
Uh-huh.
you and my sister, I've had the boobs, I don't have
Yeah.
an ass. Now I
Yeah.
don't have boobs and I don't have an ass, so it's like, what do I do?
Right.
I don't feel comfortable in myself, and so
Mhm.
I'm having to play these, like, "You got this," these mantras in my head, like, "It's fine,
Right.
you're fine, you're fine," right? But I feel that slip, and it's just like, "Well, I'm not gonna go to the gym today." Then I got sick. I've been sick for a couple
Right.
weeks, and now it's like, I don't wanna go to the gym. I just wanna go to bed.
I know. I told you before we were on here, I fell asleep. I was like, shit. And Ava came in and I was like, sleep. And I don't know what she was doing, trying to be sneaky, get something. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, nothing. And I'm like, go do your homework. Like, I'm
Yeah,
tired. Leave me alone. I'm
yeah,
sleepy. I also think my sleep thing is that, which also plays into weight, right? Is that
uh
I don't sleep consistently,
yeah,
right? Like, I don't have good REM sleep.
uh-huh,
I will sleep for a few hours and every little noise wakes me up.
yeah,
And 9 times out of 10, I can go back to sleep, but it's that one time that, like, if the dog gets up and he's growling, then I'm up,
uh-huh, yeah,
right? Because he doesn't growl for nothing, right?
right,
Like, if he growls, there's somebody out there, there's so I
right,
have to be on guard, right?
right,
Granted, we live in a very safe neighborhood. We've
mhm,
never had any issues, knock on wood, right? But, like, when your dog jumps up, you jump up, right?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
ooh, okay, but also
yeah,
it's like, I never sleep through the night. Never.
yeah, and see, I suffer from insomnia, like, I get it bad, like,
Hmm.
it starts when the times change, so
Okay.
when it starts to get darker earlier, like, I have
Yeah.
a really hard time, and vice versa when it starts to get later, darker later. when I
Yeah.
when I lose that hour of sleep, it gets really bad. So
Yeah.
during the
It's a rough
summertime,
adjustment.
well, no, like, you would think I don't sleep anyway, right? Like, and my entire career, I've been an early bird, right? Like, so this
Right. You've
night
had to
job,
be.
right? This night job thing for me has been difficult. So that kinda threw me and my diet for a loop. But,
Yeah.
when I don't sleep, I don't wanna do anything, like, I'm cranky,
Right.
and
Girl,
more than
I get it.
likely, I'm gonna freaking hurt myself going to the gym, lifting 500 pounds, or
Right.
whatever. I'm not lifting 500 pounds yet. That's the goal. But, I'm doing exactly, yet, so I'm leg pressing, 170 pounds right now. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna get hurt if I'm not, like,
Right.
sleeping, I'm not
And
eating
then
right,
you
like,
have to I also feel like it's such a mind fuck with the gym and with your diet because
yeah,
you have to eat enough protein to have gains, but you have to have
that
intake
deficit,
less calorie. Right. Like it's like such a mind fuck to be like, okay, did I eat enough today?
right?
Shit, who would have ever thought that like you had to be like, did I eat enough?
Right,
Right? Like
right. Did
I
I eat
don't
enough to
know.
maintain that, deficit
Yeah.
to make that goal? And I hate it. I hate
Right.
it. And David has always told me, he's like, "You can't outrun your mouth though, Crystal." He goes like, you can't." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I get that, but it doesn't work. Like, you have to fuel the body to keep it going, but
Right.
you have to starve it to make it use what it has. Like, there's a very fine line, and I hate the mind game that it plays, and it's just like, what do you do
Yeah. It's rough.
when
I
you're
don't know.
ready?
Oh no, I was taking a note because I'm like, am I working out tomorrow? What's on my calendar? Because these conversations, right? Like,
Right.
keep you on your game, right?
Right.
Like you have
Right.
to know. And then, so it's funny because like I am constantly on my calendar, right? Like, because I live and breathe by my calendar. So it's like,
Mhm.
do I have time to work out tomorrow during lunch? Do I have time to, we have karate tomorrow. Am I still going to try and do a little bit of weightlifting before?
Mhm.
Am I, you know what I mean? Like, I want to do all the things because I also want to, like, so we have promotion in July, right? So
Mhm.
I need to be in fighting shape, right? Like,
Right.
I need to be ready. I need to have that stamina. So
Right.
like, I have to get it together again, right? Because
Yeah.
for a while I was working out 6 days a week. I
Mhm.
was hitting 5 a.m. workouts. I was doing kaju, but like I got sick,
Mhm.
right? And so 5 a.m. workouts became non-existent. So I was like,
Mhm.
well, I'm not going to continue paying the camp if I'm not going, right? Because
Right.
it's not cheap. So
Right.
like, so yeah, so that's what I was like looking at my calendar to be like, am I working out tomorrow?
Mm. And see, and that's the thing too. Like, I make excuses for myself. Like, and I gotta stop. Like, I really do. I'm right now. I'm sick. Like, I can't breathe. I'm pretty sure I have
Right.
bronchitis. Right. So like,
Uh,
I know I can't go to the gym right now because
right.
I'm gonna, one, get people sick,
You're gonna pass
and
out.
two,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass out for not being able to breathe. Then I'm gonna be the laughing. People are gonna laugh at me, and I don't need that. I don't need
Stop
that
it.
trauma, right? Like, I don't need that trauma to know that I fainted in the gym and
Oh my
people
God,
are
can
staring at
you
me.
911, like ambulance? Like,
Yeah, I
you're
don't
like, I'm
need that
just trying to
trauma,
be healthy.
right? So I know this week probably I won't probably get back to the gym until maybe Wednesday. But I try to do little things here. Like, I'm doing my squats. I'm trying to get that dump truck that I don't have, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Deadlifts.
so I'm
I love
trying that. I'm doing that. I hate them. I hate them so bad.
deadlifts.
I hate them, but I gotta do them, right? So I bought myself the squat wedges, and I'm doing, what I can while I'm here, while I'm
Mm-hmm.
working. So I do the little things, and the kids see it. So they're doing the little things, so
Right.
it's just them seeing it, and that it makes me happy to know that they're doing it and they're trying
Yeah.
for their own sake. So, but we'll see. We'll see how much I screwed them up in this generation for the next, because
Stop
my
it.
grandkids are gonna be the one. I mean, that's if they even decide to, because who knows,
Right. Who knows?
you know.
The way the world is, like,
Girl, I wouldn't blame them for not bringing children.
same, dude, same. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's definitely something that was instilled in us when we were younger.
Mhm.
And then our generation is trying to change things. And we
Yeah.
have to wait and see what the next generation does with what we
Right.
gave them. Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
We'll see. Only
yeah,
time will
I
tell.
think, yeah, only time will tell. Right. And they are their own little people and they're going to
Yeah.
make their own decisions and they're going to do what they think is right. And we just
Exactly.
have to support them. Right.
Right.
Like, and give them any knowledge that we have.
Right.
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 From our life experiences so that they can take that and hopefully not make the same mistakes we made, right?
Right.
And make better ones, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I want to live forever. I mean, granted, I know I'm not going to live forever. There's no
I
way.
do not.
But I want to live to like 90. Like 90 is a good age
Why?
for me, because there's so much that. Okay, and this is real talk, right? We grew up in a place where all we saw is our parents working, right? I'm going to be working until I'm at least 65 if I'm lucky, right?
Why?
Girl, you really think we're going to be able to retire at 55?
I'm retiring at 55. That's what happens when you get a county job.
No, I mean, I could retire at 55, but could I afford to retire at 55?
Yeah.
If
You can
I,
if you just live within your means.
girl, I struggle now and we're living within our means, right? Like, we make great money, but we
Not
still
according
struggle.
to California standards. Because if you make less than $180,000 a year, you're poor.
Like 217,000 at this point.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's
But
stupid high.
we're also held to the standard that fucking Kentucky is for any
Exactly.
assistance, which
Right.
is stupid.
Right. So it's just like, It's here nor there, right? So I'll be working till at least 65, right? So I've spent my late teens, all of my 20s, all of my 30s, all of my 40s, potentially all of my 50s to retire and not enjoy my life.
Yeah, no.
I mean, see, my Nina's the same way. My Nina used to tell me that she wanted to die at 65, right? That she's
Wow.
65 because she's lived her life. That's what she used to
Yeah.
tell us. By then, I'll have lived my life. And I was like, all you did was work. Where did you live? I
Yeah.
want to be able to go and travel. I want to be able to see, if my kids decide they want grandkids or they want kids, I want to see my grandbabies. Like, I want to be that grandma was for us.
Right.
I want to be that. I want to be there to see those big milestones for them, but only if I'm healthy. And living this way, I don't think I can do it.
Right. But we can get there. There's still
We can get there.
time.
Yeah.
You just got to keep moving, baby steps, one foot in front of the other, and just keep going.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter how many times you fall off. You fall down
Right.
9, you get up 10. You
Right.
keep going because at the end of the day, those are the pasos that are going to matter.
Right.
Those are what everybody's going to remember. Yeah, she
Right.
struggled, but she did it.
Yep.
Yeah, she struggled, but she never gave up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you have to put in your head. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I fall, as long as I get back up, that's what matters, right? Like, and those are things that, like, I want to teach Ava, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how many times you fall. Get back up.
Exactly.
Get back up and tell life you hit like a bitch, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going down. I'm going to continue to hustle. I'm going to continue to make progress. Slow progress is still progress.
Right. Agreed. We'll have to see, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's all in the day's work.
Right. The life of a mom.
I know. Dumb.
I know. So.
On that note, I have to go put some stuff in the crock pot for lunch and dinner tomorrow.
Same.
The grind never stops.
Nope. All right.
Shit.
Well,
That is
it,
all,
guys.
folks. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And that's another conversation we've brought to the table. Thank you for sitting here at us with Chaos en la Mesa. If today's episode made you laugh, think, or reminded you of your own family chaos, make sure to follow the podcast and share it with someone who would bring their own stories to the table. Remember, sometimes the conversations we avoid are the ones we need most. Until next time, keep the cafecito warm, keep the conversation real.